for providing such great insight. We will continue to monitor all of the developments from the ongoing war in Gaza. Let's now move on, as China has responded to comments by US President Donald Trump, who said President Xi Jinping assured him there would be no invasion of Taiwan during his term. Beijing has reiterated that Taiwan is an internal matter and an inalienable part of China. Let's now listen to what the Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning has said on the issue.
中方在台湾问题上的立场是一贯的、明确的。台湾是中国领土不可分割的一部分，台湾问题纯属中国内政。如何解决台湾问题是中国人自己的事情。我们愿意以最大的诚意、尽最大的努力，争取和平统一的前景，但绝不允许任何人、任何势力以任何方式将台湾从中国分裂出去。
Well, responding on Sunday, Taiwan says that it closely monitors US-China interactions. Its foreign ministry pledged to cooperate with Indo-Pacific partners to safeguard peace in the Taiwan Strait. The United States, while not formally recognizing Taiwan, remains its main backer and arms supplier. China, which has never ruled out the use of force, continues to call Taiwan the most sensitive issue in its ties with Washington. Well, with us to discuss this information, Dr. Satoru Nagao, a fellow at the Hudson Institute, joining us live from Tokyo, Japan. As always, a pleasure, Dr. Nagao. Of course, Trump's comments, a clear sign of optimism, potentially, for stability, given the fact that he said China won't invade Taiwan during my second term as president. But China saying it's an internal matter. Where do you think the reality in this stance from China towards the US relating to Taiwan actually stands?
China's remark is relatively calm in this case because it is interesting China hasn't said this is they said this is internal matter, but at the same time they do not refuse Trump's logic. So because President Trump said because of his unpredictability, he did not clearly say unpredictability about this remark, but anyway, this is the background. That's why China cannot invade. We can remember what happened in Russia and Ukraine. Putin decided to invade Ukraine. In this case, what kind of the mindset Putin has? Because he believed he can win, that's why he invaded, even if this was miscalculation. So, if China believe China can win, if invade to Taiwan, of course China can do that. But in case of the President Trump, he is the guy of the unpredictability. So this means that the scenario to win the war is uncertain, not clear. In this case, can Chinese leader decide to invade Taiwan? That is my topic in this case. So that's why there is a possibility that because of President Trump itself has the deterrent power against China when China decide to try to decide to invade Taiwan. So that's why Trump's logic is, I believe this is right, and China did not refuse the logic itself. That's the interesting point, I think.
Yes, and Dr. Nagao, let's look at that relationship between the US and Taiwan. As we said earlier, there's no formal recognition, but the US is the biggest backer of Taiwan. How could these tensions surrounding Taiwan impact US-China relations that seem to have been moving in somewhat of a positive direction after that recent extension of a tariff truce?
Yes, in this case, President Trump's policy is a little bit ambiguity. Indeed, clear, but he tried to show the ambiguity because he wants Taiwan to pay more for defense. So, U.S. will defend Taiwan. That is a baseline, but because of he is unpredictable guy, he tried to exploit this situation. If Taiwan will not show enough effort to defend themselves, without this, United States will not support you. Something like that kind of image President Trump tried to create. So Taiwan must spend 10% of the GDP for their defense, his administration start to indicate. This is a little bit too big because 10% of the GDP means that most of the national budget of Taiwan need to spend for defense. So it is impossible. So that's why this is pressure. United States, under the Trump administration, making strong pressure to Taiwan to defend themselves because they must pay more. That's why each situation they exploit. But reality is when we check the weapon, line up of the weapon the U.S. provide Taiwan, compare with the age of Biden, this is indeed stronger than the age of Biden. So
Yes.
that's why United States is providing stronger weapon to Taiwan. That is also true. So view from this, this is message. U.S. has a will to support Taiwan, but at the same time, Taiwan must pay more for their defense themselves. That is the current message, I think.
Yes, Dr. Nagao, thank you for that insight. If you do stay with us, we're going to stay in the